Hello everybody, I'm here to you, and welcome back to Let's Play Tomb Raider Underworld. In the previous episode, we started exploring the remnants of an ancient world in coastal Thailand, and today's episode we'll be going through the ruins of Bhogavati. Oh right, and I probably mispronounced that. But in today's episode, we'll be exploring one of my more personal favorite levels in Tomb Raider Underworld. Even though I frequently got lost during this one, I'm admittedly a bit nervous about recording this level, but without further ado, we'll be facing some bats while climbing on these ledges. This is so cool. This is such an awesome gameplay mechanic, and I love it so much. And it's unfortunately not in the Wii version, which makes me really sad. The really weird thing is, in the Wii version of this game, if you try firing your weapons while dangling off a ledge, the camera zooms into Laura. I don't know why it does this, and I have a particularly interesting story about this mechanic, which we'll be talking about a little bit later when it becomes a bit more relevant, but as for right now, we'll be taking care of this area right here. Without further ado, grappling hook and destroy the rings. Haha, Sonic the Hedgehog would be so disappointed. Health pack right there if you want it. And one thing I want to say right now is this level is a very secret heavy. There's about 15 artifacts in this one. So yeah, you can see why I'm a bit nervous recording this one in particular. And the artifacts in particular, that's something I want to mention real quick, because some of you may be wondering why I'm not going for artifacts in the Wii version. And the reason why is because they're kind of pointless in that version. You don't get anything from collecting artifacts in that game, they're just there. And there's a lot less of them in the Wii version of the game, so I didn't think it was particularly worth it to go after the artifacts in that game. There's already a lot of them to go for in this one, and the Xbox 360 is the main focus of this Let's Play. We're only demonstrating occasional Wii differences here and there. So I didn't think it was completely necessary to demonstrate the artifacts in the Wii version of this game. Now, the path I took was one way that you could get over here, but one thing I want to mention real quick is you can also use a grappling hook to go back and forth between these areas if you want. It's probably the faster way to go through it if you want to go through for more speedrunning things. Are there speedrunners of Tomb Raider Underworld? I think so, because at this one charity thing they did a little while back, they did a speedrun for Rise of the Tomb Raider, which I gotta say, Tomb Raider speedruns are really impressive, because these games can be broken if you know what you're doing, and it's pretty interesting seeing people abuse that for speedruns. I love speedruns in general, because they're just so impressive, and I have a lot of respect for people who can do that. I wish someday that I could do a speedrun. Like, I don't know, maybe I'll work towards it as a future goal or something like that. I'm not trying to surf anybody would be interested in watching that. Like, I did consider doing a Link's Awakening speedrun at one point, because I do know it's one pretty cool glitch. But I'm not sure. Is that something you guys will be interested in? Ah, bats! Actually, I really like bats in real life. I know some people are freaked out by them, but I think they're kind of cute. They're just so adorable. Alright then. Did we get the reward over there? I think we did. Okay. Health pack right here if you want it. Try to make sure you get as many health packs as you possibly can, because that's going to be very useful, because we'll be facing some tough enemies in this level. This right here, this mechanic of jumping and taking the stick out of the wall, well, first of all, if you press the Y button, you can do like a melee combat attack, and it's actually really cool. But what I was trying was that in the Wii version, you just destroy that one exactly the same way as you did with the previous ring. Something that's worth mentioning, even though I'm not going to be demonstrating it on screen. There are a couple interesting differences in the Wii version, which we'll be going over a little bit later. So, the next thing you want to do is go this way. Swan dive! Woo! Unnecessary epicness! And, speaking of unnecessary epicness, let's pull the switch, and... oh no, whatever are we gonna do? X button! Haha. I do really like those. I did like the QuickTime events in Tomb Raider Legend, but I do know that not everybody was a fan of that particular gameplay mechanic. So, yeah, that's the best way to end off a sentence. And yeah, if you go down the other pathway, both of them will lead you the same direction. So it doesn't matter if you go left or right. But what does matter is that there's something super shiny over here. And I'm just going to look over my notes real quick to see if there's anything in this room. It doesn't look like there is. Whoop. There's some jars over here. All jars must be destroyed! Our mortal nemesis. That is our destiny, to destroy all jars. No more pottery!
to the Niflheim ruins.
I love that cutscene in particular because you can really tell that Laura really does know her stuff when it comes to archaeology, and that's something that I always appreciate when they go out of their way to make details like that in these games. Alright, so now that we got that reward, we can jump up this way. I think this room is a little bit different in the Weavers, I might be wrong about that. But either way, I'm not going to be demonstrating on screen because I don't feel like it. Actually, I don't think this area... Is this area in the Wii version? I know there is one big chunk of this level that's not in the Wii version at all. I think this isn't it. I think this is in the Wii version. Well, it doesn't matter right now because I'm not going to be demonstrating on screen. Alright, so let's go over here. And jump over here. I love the particle effects in this room, by the way. I'm not a big fan of realistic graphics, but this game has some truly amazing detail into it. And that's kind of the reason why I consider this game to be like one of the best looking games in the Tomb Raider series. Personally speaking, I think this game looks a bit better than Tomb Raider 2013. But that's just my personal opinion. I know some people may disagree with me on that, but that's just my opinion. Let's go up the stairs, and this big chunk of area over here, this is not in the Wii version at all. Actually, you know what, now that I think about it, I don't think that previous room either. I don't think that previous room is in the Wii version either. So, yeah, this big chunk of level is not in the Wii version at all. So that's a little disappointing, but the thing with the Wii version is how they handle this level is actually pretty interesting, and we'll see more about that when we get to that point. But even though a big chunk of it is missing, I still think the Wii version of this level is still pretty awesome. So let's go pick up the health pack, and this is the part of the level that I'm admittedly a bit the most nervous about, because this area has a lot of rewards in it. So we definitely want to be careful. We can go over here. I think we can jump this way. Looks like we can. Yeah, the camera isn't that great in this area, so you definitely want to be careful with your jumps. Alright, so what we can do, there's a crystal over here, and it's super shiny. Ooh, it's so sparkly. Like, oh my god, it's sparkly. I promise I'll never do that again. Alright, so the next reward is over there in that little dark alcove over there, something that's going to be pretty well worth mentioning. If you want to safely go down, press the X button to use a grappling hook, and then go this way. One thing that's pretty worth mentioning is, even though you can fire your weapons while dangling off ledges and stuff like that, you can't fire your weapons while dangling on a grappling hook. I think that would have been cool if they did it, but I can understand why they didn't. Alright, so in case you couldn't tell from the music, and by the fact that there's a giant lizard right there, we're going to be facing some new enemies in this area. These enemies are Naga, I believe that's what they're called. I might be wrong about that, and I may have butchered their pronunciation. Ah! Get away from me! Eehee! Eehee! No! No! Don't hurt the waifu! Don't hurt the waifu! Ah! Okay. Let's try to do the thing correctly. Alright, use the right thumbstick to move the red circle around, and that's basically it. I really like how they did the adrenaline headshot in this game. It is pretty cool. These enemies do appear in the Wii version. There is one particular part of this level that's kind of like a battle gauntlet with these enemies, which we'll be seeing as we progress further into the level. So yeah, they didn't leave out those enemies unlike the sharks, which is pretty cool. But the thing with the Weaver... Ah! Oh, I didn't know they could do that. Okay, I'm gonna switch over to the assault rifle because this might be a better weapon to use with these guys. The thing with the dual pistols is there's no way you can turn off firing at two enemies at once. And I personally like going after one at a time so that I can take care of them quickly. Because firing at two enemies at once will slow down how long it takes to actually beat them. So that's one problem that I do have with the combat in this game. But it's not that big of a deal because you do have plenty of big variety of weapons you can use. Alright, just looking over my notes real quick. Excuse me? You know what? Unnecessary epicness. Haha. So yeah, those enemies, they can climb up walls, as you saw a moment ago. So just because you're on a wall over here does not mean that you're safe from those enemies, so you definitely want to be careful with that. I think the next reward is up here somewhere. Well, there's ledges over there we can climb, but I want to go this way first. Man, I love the climbing in this game. It's so smooth, and the animation of it is just so realistic and things like that. I'm guessing over the graphics way too much, and I've gone on record plenty times in the past saying that I don't like realistic art styles in video games, but it works really well with this game. Alright, let's go this way. I should probably go more into that so that I can, just to make it a bit more clear to my viewers. The reason I don't like realistic art styles in video gaming is because, first of all, it makes it easier to look more outdated, because realistic art styles are always limited with their hardware. Like if you, for example, if you look at the GameCube era Tomb Raider games like Legend and stuff like that, they did try to look realistic, but you can clearly tell that game is on older hardware. Yeah. And another thing is that most games with realistic art styles, they also all pretty much look as the same. I don't mean that to be rude or anything like that, but a lot of them look very similar, and it's a bit hard to differentiate between those games unless you know what the game is. So that's kind of the reason why I like more stylized art styles like Earthbound and Skyward Sword and things like that. But again, this is just all my personal dumb opinion. Now we have another Naga enemy over there. Let's destroy you. And haha, you're defeated. I don't think there's any difference between the green and the red ones. I think it's just cosmetic. I may be wrong about that. I'm gonna do more research about that in editing, and I'll put a caption on screen somewhere around here to explain that. I honestly have no idea what a safe way to get down here is, so that's the reason why I kind of just jumped off the cliff right there. We have some more bats over there if you want to take care of them. It's probably a good idea. I'm not quite sure if that's the last one. It probably is, but usually there's like a musical tone that could tell you if the enemy you face was the last one in the area. I can't hear my game audio while I'm recording this video because I don't want to echo off the microphone or anything like that. So yeah, I can't hear my game audio. Hooray for editing! All right, there's a health pack right there if you want it. If you want to get back up, you just wall jump up here. So that's going to be something that's pretty well worth mentioning. And next thing you want to do is go this way and jump. Haha, we can jump in the video game. Who would have thought? Alright, I think the next thing we want to do is... What is the next thing we want to do? I don't want to risk that jump because I don't think we can quite make that. Oh, I remember now. It's around here. Yep, there's a ledge right there. Not that hard to figure out. And jump up here. And continue onward. I love the ruins in this area. They just look so pretty. This is such a pretty game. This area right here kind of bothers me because you can go behind this tree, but there's nothing behind here, not even a health pack or anything like that, and it kind of bothers me. It feels like there should have been something there, but there's not, and it's depressing. Not really. I just like being overdramatic. Alright then, now that we've opened up the gate, we can go collect a health pack. Ooh, fancy. And we can jump down here and go grab it. Like I said, it's a very good idea to grab as many health packs as you possibly can because you are going to be taking a lot of damage from those Naga enemies. Because they're pretty powerful, especially on higher difficulties, so you definitely want to be careful facing them. I think I want to go back for a moment, and I think I'm going to go back. I'm going to backtrack for a moment so we can get back to that grappling hook. So, yay! Fast forwarding! Woo! Destroy the jars! Alright, I made a slight mistake in this area. There's another reward that we missed. There's one over here that we picked up a moment ago. But the reward that we missed, we want to do is we want to go over here, drop off the ledge, and go over here. So, yeah, I knew that I was going to miss one, and I was really nervous about that, so that's the reason why I wanted to take my time in this area. But what we want to do, let's just go over here, and jump this way, and go back to where we were a moment ago. Hoorah! Alright, so, going back to what I was saying a moment ago about realistic art styles, the last thing you want to say about that right now is I don't mean to say the realistic art styles are bad or anything like that. Like, there are some games that look amazing, Like, I personally think the Batman Arkham games are some of the best looking, realistic looking games ever, and they look really cool. I'm just saying that I personally prefer more stylized art styles like Earthbound and things like that, because they don't age nearly as badly as games with realistic art styles. Because, well, I don't really think I really need to explain why. All right, so next thing we want to do is we're going to go down here. I think we can just make this jump by going over here. Yep, we can. Okay, so I don't know what I was worried about. And now we can go this way. Alright. Let's go over here. And jump this way. Haha. I feel like I say that a lot throughout the Tomb Raider Trilogy project. Alright, let's pick up the next reward. And I'm just going to look over my notes real quick. Alright, so now that we've taken care of that, let's go back over here, over towards the other statue over there, because after you collect both of the gemstones... What's this? Oh, a health pack bonus. Okay, that's time too. After you collect both the gemstones, the gates over on that pillar over there will both open up, so that's where you want to go next. If you want to go for every artifact in coastal Thailand, then you're going to want to make sure that you have at least 18 at this point. So that's very well worth mentioning, because it's useful advice that I worked hard on, so you better appreciate. Alright, so now that we've taken care of that, we can go on through this area. Ooh. Spooky. It's a deep, dark cavern and a long hallway that the developers used to give the game more time to load the next area. Alright, next thing we want to do, we'll climb up this pole and jump up here. And we want to go this way. The next reward we want to get requires a little bit of backtracking, but it's not too bad. There's a health pack over here anyway, so it's probably a good idea to come this way a little bit, even if you don't necessarily want to get every artifact. So you want to go over here, and you can see the super shiny thingy off in the distance. And we all know what we say here on Lady Gear to You: shiny is good. I don't know why I refer to myself in third person right there. Alright, let's go over here. And I apologize if I'm a little bit more quiet in this area. I died a lot during my practice playthrough of this area, so I want to be a little bit more careful than usual. So let's go over here. And jump this way. Camera is a little buggy right there, but it's the Tomb Raider trilogy, what do you expect? By the way, this right here, it's very circly, and I don't know why, but I really like it. I like circles. Oh, we barely made that. Okay, that was awesome. Do you want to go the high road? I'm not gonna risk it. I'm gonna go up this way. You probably could use a grappling hook to swing over there, but I don't want to risk it. This is not the way you want to go, so we're gonna have to use a grappling hook anyway. All right. I'm stupid. All right, back to where we were a moment ago. Next thing you want to do is you want to go back to where we were a moment ago when we were up in the higher area, because that is technically the way you're supposed to go. So yeah, you're gonna have to come back here no matter what. But we can go over here and climb up this pole. Woo! And jump. Thank goodness there are these conveniently placed poles around here, so that we will have the ability to climb around this area. Alright, something kind of funny about that tiger enemy over there that I wanted to mention in the previous episode, but I kind of forgot to, was the fact that in the original Tomb Raider game, the developers, the reason why the developers made most of the enemies animals was because they didn't want Laura to kill her people, and they decided to have her fight animals instead. But the thing is, they didn't realize that most of the animals that they had chosen to be enemies in the game were endangered species. So that's something that I find a little bit amusing. Endangered species aren't funny at all, but I just find it amusing that they didn't realize that the enemies that they had chosen were endangered. Like nowadays, it's pretty obvious that they kind of changed their mind about Laura fighting real people, especially with the Tomb Raider reboot series. But yeah, it's something that's pretty interesting. It's pretty interesting seeing how Tomb Raider has changed over time. Because the backstory of Laura herself, and especially her relationship with her parents, has also really changed. They believe in the original Tomb Raider timeline with the PlayStation games. The original timeline was that Laura actually got disowned by her parents, and she made her fortune herself. I think in Legend and the reboot series, she inherited her fortune. That's something that's pretty well worth mentioning. I believe there are 3 rewards in this area, so if you're keeping track of all the rewards in this game, then there's some useful information for you. So yay, that could be useful for once. Let's go over here and jump. I really love the lighting in this area, by the way. This looks really cool. And now that I know how to actually program a lighting effect, oh my god. Well, guess he gets to do editing. Alrighty then, back to where we were a moment ago. I just want to say that I really love the lighting effect in this area, and now that I know how to actually program lighting in video games, it's all the more impressive. But now what we want to do, you want to go this way over here to collect the more shiny things. Woo! Shiny! Alrighty then. Alright, I want to be careful over here, and also I really love the detail of all the mushrooms growing in this area. Again, it's the little details that make this game really special. Although this entire game is special because it's awesome. Let's go jump over here and climb over here. A little reminder for... Whoa, that was weird. Okay. A little reminder, this entire area right here, this entire portion of the level is not in the Wii version of the game. So that's something that's pretty well worth mentioning. And fun story about that, the Wii version of the game was the first one that I played, and then, like, a couple years ago, I got the PC version on Steam, and when I was playing through this area, I was like, I don't remember this area at all in the Wii version. What's going on here? But then I looked it up, and I was like, oh, that's why. It wasn't in there at all. So, yeah, I'm kind of dumb. That kind of feeds into my theory that the Wii version of this game was just the beta version of Tomb Raider Underworld that just got released. So that's my personal feeling. Excuse me, would you go away, good sir? Or madam, I don't judge. Something pretty worth mentioning is, you may have seen right there, but, I didn't actually know this, but if your health is in the red, then your HP will refill over time. So that's actually pretty useful. I didn't know that for the longest time, and I would, like, waste my health packs because it was in the red. But if you just let it rest for a moment, then it will refill over time. If you're playing on the Wii version, there are no health packs at all, and your HP will refill no matter what. But yeah, that's something that's pretty well worth mentioning. And before I move on, I want to look over my notes real quick to see if I got everything. Alright, we missed one reward. We want to go over here and destroy the jars! Destroy all pottery! Alright, we did miss one reward this area. There's a jar in the bottom of this area that you can go collect if you want, so we get to destroy all the jars and go to blood. And I am really happy that I decided to go back right when I did, because if we went any further, we would have hit a checkpoint and not be able to go back at all, because of the way the cliffs in that area work. So I'm really glad that I decided to go back when I did. So hooray for foresight. Alright, so we want to go over here and jump in this area. As usual, this area is not in the Wii version of the game. I feel like I'm saying that way too often. But when we get to an area that actually is in the Wii version, then you'll know. And also, my recording setup right now says they're about 35 minutes. I'm not entirely sure how long this video is right now, but after we beat this next area, I'm just going to say that if the video ends up being like really long, then this may be the point where I split it in two. So future related gear to you, insert post commentary clip here of me doing my outro.
Naga. Naga are the snake people of Patala who, among other things, were the keepers of Amrita, an elixir that bestowed eternal life. The primeval reptiles around this ruin possibly inspired the myth of the Naga, or just as likely, contributed to existing Hindu tradition due to their unusual appearance.